Hey there, it's the One Boom, and welcome to an episode of I Need a Weapon. In this series, what you guys do is you leave me classes down in the comment section below, and I use them and review them on a scale of 1 to 10. Enjoy the video. Alright, so this week's class comes to us from Alan Lawrence. He wants us to use the VMP submachine gun with a VARIX, Quick Draw, and Stock. For perks, Tier 1, Ghost, Tier 2, Fast Hands, and Tier 3, Blast Suppressor and Awareness. And of course you can see there that he wants us to use a concussion. Alright, so another VMP class. Now, before I go any further, please leave me classes down in the comment section below with no KN44s, no VMPs, no CUDAs. Give me something really interesting and fun to use, please. Please, for the love of God. Please. But anyway, yeah, you can see it here. We have a VARIX sight on a VMP, and I'm sure you guys have seen this combination a lot if you've been on YouTube in the last month. A lot of people are digging the VARIX sight on their submachine guns because of how accurate it makes them. And an accurate SMG being forced into a role it's not intended for isn't a bad thing in and of itself. For instance, I love long barrel, foregrip SMGs with extended mags so you can take out people at longer distances, basically trying to extend your kill range more and more and more and more and more. That is a great concept, and I think it should be applauded. But the VARIX sight, though it does make those mid-range engagements that much more accessible, it still makes the SMG part of it, the close range, running gun aspect of it, feel kind of clunky and strange. You don't feel like you have that snappy, my sights are on you, you've gotten melted VMP feeling like you should be getting from the VMP. The trick is when you want to make an SMG play like an assault rifle or an assault rifle play like an SMG, you can't remove the base aspect of the gun. So when you're putting VARIX sight on a VMP to make it more accurate at mid-range, that's cool. But you're just basically getting a sort of effective mid-range weapon and a clunky up-close weapon and a shitty long-range weapon. Replace the VARIX sight with either no sight or an ELO, you have a great close quarters weapon, a decent mid-range weapon, and a shitty long-range weapon. The VARIX sight, in my opinion, forces you into a mid-range, and although mid-range combat is very, very accessible in Black Ops 3, I still just don't quite feel like it's perfect. I don't know. It seems to me that this class excels at mid-range, feels clunky up close. It's not bad up close. It's just when you go to aim down sight on somebody that's in your face, having this big scope like take up your vision and narrow your sight line down, it is really, really disconcerting, and I don't like it, man. I don't know what else you could really do to get rid of that. Maybe if you would have added laser sight to make the hip fire better, I don't know. I just personally do not like how that's set up. So to summarize what I just said, the VARIX sight will turn your SMGs into a decent mid-range weapon, clunky close-range weapon, and a shitty long-range weapon. So now you have your perks. You have Ghost, no suppressor, you have Fast Hands and a Tactical, which is good, and of course being able to aim faster after sprinting is supposed to help with that close range encounter thing, and I have no problem with the reaction time on this class. Having Stock, Quick Draw, and Fast Hands and be able to move around quickly and aim down sight quickly, that's all great. As soon as you have the VARIX sight, it becomes uncomfortable. I don't know if I was clear about that. You have to be comfortable with your close range engagements. And you have Blast Suppressor and Awareness, so this class seems to try to be really stealthy, yet it doesn't really fit into any sort of stealthy role. I don't feel like you should be forcing an SMG into a mid-range and then making it a aggressive, stealthy class. If this class would have had Quick Draw, Stock, ditch the Tactical and the VARIX, and add a suppressor, this class would be very boring, but it would be a very effective, stealthy rushing class. But your gun screams mid-range combat and your perks scream in-your-face stealth combat, and that is just not, it doesn't mesh. I really wanted to love this class. I used it for a couple of games, and I just constantly felt like if the gun didn't have the VARIX sight, I would be an effective SMG user and not a half-decent mini assault rifle user. You know what I mean? Hope you guys get it. Some of you probably will say, I can use the VARIX sight up close, no problem, you're a scrub. And I will back up and say yes. But the thing is, regardless of my skill level, it just doesn't feel comfortable to take a big scope and try to, navigate targets up close. It doesn't feel good, doesn't feel coherent or intuitive. It just doesn't feel right. And it doesn't mean it's bad statistically, it just doesn't feel good. I think a lot of players would have trouble with this, and I might not be the only one, so cut me a little bit of slack. But anyway, with Quick Draw and Stock being aggressive, but VARIX being a little bit more conservative, your perks being stealthy and aggressive, but awareness also is for conservative, it doesn't really make it a stealth aggressive conservative class. It doesn't work. It doesn't mesh. I've been trying to give you benefits of the doubt here, man, but I can't do it. So Alan Lawrence, I'm gonna have to give your class a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 because the only saving grace of this class was that I could stun people on flags, and the VMP is a little better at mid-range with the added accuracy of the VARIX sight. Other than that, it just doesn't work. It's like, oh, I'm gonna rush and throw stun grenades, but I'm also gonna hold back because this gun is clunkier up close. But I don't know, man. Like, I can't feel it. I don't feel it. I'm sorry. If you would have made this more boring, I wouldn't have as much fun, and I wouldn't be as, wouldn't be an interesting episode, but at least you probably would have made yourself a solid 8 out of 10 with a boring, suppressed VMP class. When it comes to boring classes, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of KN-44s and VMPs and Cooters. I don't want to have to quit this show, but I will if I keep getting bored with it. I'm sorry, like, I don't want to keep talking about a VMP class or a KN-44 class every week. So leave me classes down in the comment section below. Make sure they have all 10 slots filled out. I got a cool KRM class from Blue Solstice a couple episodes back, but I couldn't use it because he only gave me 7 out of the 10 slots, and I'm not going to guess 3 whole slots. So leave classes down in the comment section below, classes that are weird, funky, goofy, but that you think are versatile and fun. And no Man of Wars. No more Man of Wars. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. I'm tired of Man of Wars. Whatever. Okay, that was a bad joke. I'm going to leave now. I'm going to get some food, and I will see you when I see ya. Goodbye! As soon as this video goes up, the first comment better be, I have no trouble using the VARIX sight up close, so your rating doesn't make any sense. Just going off of my play experience and my feel. You can't have a close range gun with a long range sight and aggressive perks, but resistant perks, and attack doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't feel good. I don't like it. Stop it.